If you plan to fish for red snapper this summer, you're in luck. New research from the University of South Alabama is showing the population off Alabama's coast is at its highest in more than a decade. Our sports director, Emily Cochran, has more on the science behind the snapper boom and what it means for anglers.
Out in the Gulf, the red snapper are back in big numbers, more than researchers have seen in years. Scientists at the University of South Alabama's Stokes School of Marine and Environmental Sciences recently wrapped up their annual survey of reef fish. And the red snapper population, it's the highest they've recorded since the study began, due to positive environmental conditions over the years. That's according to Dr. Sean Powers, who leads the research team.
The average number now around an artificial reef is about 160 red snapper on one artificial reef, and you can imagine we have over 12,000 of those reefs offshore in Alabama, so that number starts to get very, very large. There's about 7 million red snapper on the Alabama coast right now.
And how do they gather their data? Well, they use high-resolution cameras on underwater vehicles to count fish on natural and artificial reefs. This year, the data clearly shows red snapper are doing really well off Alabama's coast. The underwater remotely operated vehicle monitors fish around more than 10,000 reef sites in the Gulf, which helps guide fishing regulations.
They have their quota from the federal government, but does that quota make sense? Or should we harvest that many red snapper? And they call on our expertise to help advise Gulf-wide what the red snapper quota is.
Anglers can keep 2 snapper per person per day, each at least 16 inches long, and they'll have the opportunity to catch their limit in one of the greatest places in the world to do exactly that.
Alabama has a tremendous resource, and I don't think enough people recognize that. We harvest about 1/3 of the recreational red snapper in the Gulf of Mexico, but we have 6% of the coastline. So that tells you there's something very, very special about Alabama for red snapper.
And thanks to the work of South Alabama researchers and state agencies, the balance between conservation and recreation continues right here on Alabama's coast. I'm Emily Cochran, Fox 10 Sports.
Red snapper season runs 7 days a week through the end of June, and then it switches to weekends starting July 4th. If you're heading out, make sure you are up to date on size limits and licensing. You can find all the rules on the Alabama Marine Resource Division website.